All right, welcome back to Ask Eric on Brain Gangster FM, part of the Eric Sims Effect. If you've checked us out on Instagram or on Anchor FM and some of the other platforms we're broadcasting on, we're doing another episode here where Ask Eric, that's me, and I give you my take on whatever these questions are, the people that are sending in based on my experience, strength, and purpose. So, real quick, the first one we got here is, what's the best way to stay motivated when you've been trying for days but still making no progress? Well, based on that question, I would say this. The first way to stay motivated is to get motivated. And the way to get motivated is to tap into those kind of core human, what I call core human needs that every person has, but we're all built a little bit differently in how we respond to them. So understanding how those things work with yourself and how to tap into those really creates the fuel for motivation, which creates momentum, right? Which is really what you're talking about here. Is you've probably felt motivated at moments, but then it dies off and you lose motivation, which causes you to lose momentum, which stagnates progress and makes you feel like you haven't gone anywhere. So a lot of people experience this. It's that up, down, yo-yo effect of life, where I feel like doing something, but I never get it done. And for me, what I found out a lot of times with it is, if I'm real honest with myself and the people that I work with, is that you really don't want to do it as bad as you think you want to do it. Sometimes it's things you like, it's neat to talk about. It's a great concept. It'd be fun if it was easy and if it came to me without any effort. But the reality is that anything that's important in life or that has any value in life takes work. And most people don't want to do the work necessary to achieve the things they really want to do. Now, if you do want to work and do the things you really need to do, there's a way to tap into that, and that's by identifying those 6 core human needs and leveraging those in your daily life. Those 6 core human needs are, there's kind of polar opposites on some of them. So some people have a high need for certainty in their life, and when they feel certainty and things make sense to them, they get an energetic charge out of that. It makes them feel really good. They can stay on point. For some people, they need an enormous amount of variety or uncertainty in their life. They're the kind of more of the risk takers. They need something that is not the norm, not the routine, that's constantly, quote, pushing the envelope. You got some people who really need a high level of connectivity in what they do. I've got some people I work with that, take, for example, working out or fitness. They've tried numerous different things. We'll come to find out they have a high need for connection. So we ended up putting them in an environment where there's a lot of connectivity along with the fitness and things that they're wanting to do, and they've been able to be much more successful in that and stay motivated. So that's that one. Some people would also call that love, but I prefer to fly it under the flag of connectivity. Then you've got significance, which is another one. And for some people, it is the feeling of making, like you're making a difference in something. And so if whatever you're trying to do, you feel like you're not making a difference in it, or you're not able to tap into the difference you're making, it's very demotivating for yourself. And so you have to find a way to tap into that so that you can play off that energy that's in that for yourself. For some people, it's not important, but for some people, it is. And then you have the main 2, which are growth and contribution. Growth and contribution for me, some people can call those the spiritual aspects of it. But if you are not growing and contributing, what are you doing? You have to take a look at that. Growth and contribution are how we are as human beings are built. So you have to find a way to tie this stuff into who you are as a person and how you're built to create the motivation needed to gain the momentum necessary. So I would sit down and evaluate those things. And what we normally do with people that's really simple is we write those 6 things down, have you rank those 6 things in order of importance to yourself. So do it very quickly, because it's normally whatever happens off the cuff is kind of how you feel. And then go back and identify what has to happen for me to experience this emotion or this feeling. And then you'll begin to see some patterns with yourself that you can tap into when you're looking at some of the goals you have. One thing you might find out is the goals I have are not really my goals. They're some goals I've set up out of some old story that somebody's told me, either through my family, religion, society, school, relationships, or whatever it is, how things are supposed to be or how I'm supposed to be. And you'll realize very quickly as you start to analyze things that how you're built doesn't align with that, which is why it's so demotivating whenever you go after it. Then you can look at those things that do match up and find ways to motivate yourself and stay motivated and see the progress you want on a regular and daily basis. Another important tip with that is once you tap into that, you're going to set some goals up, but make sure you in between where you are and where you want to be, you set up what we call base camps, which are places in smaller increments for you to achieve and enjoy. Because the more you can experience those needs that you have, those core human needs, on the way to the big goal, the more momentum and motivation you'll experience along the way, and it just keeps the ball rolling. So if you try to spread it out too far, you're going to get demotivated because the time between the experience of X, which is, let's call it significance, and the next experience of significance is too far away, and you'll lose motivation. So you got to map that out with what we call base camps, just like you're climbing a mountain. All right, hope that was helpful. We'll go to the next question, which is, when and what made you realize that the job you had wasn't for you? Well, that goes back to what I was just talking about. I did the exercise. I took a look at my life, and once I learned these techniques and said, all right, I've done a lot of stuff with you: sales, operations, management, leadership. I've done a great bunch of volunteer work, everything from preaching in a church to coaching to working at drug rehab centers to working with kids and a bunch of other stuff that I thought would always bring me to satisfaction. And I would have moments of motivation, moments of satisfaction, moments of clarity, never taking time to really evaluate what those were based on who I am and what I enjoy. And once I did that exercise that I just talked about, I was able to see very clearly why the hell the job I was in was making me so miserable most of the time, and why I was in it going like this at times, because there were moments where I was able to experience those core human needs that I needed so badly. I would fall into them based on the circumstances of my environment versus me creating those moments in the circumstances of my environment. There's a big difference. So the environment was driving me versus me driving the environment. And once you learn these core human needs, you can start driving your environments, and then you can create your own destiny. So it will change the way you make decisions. It will change the way you interact with people. It will change the way you go about living your life, because you're much more in touch with who you are and what you want. That's it for today. We're going to tune back out. We'll come back with more Ask Eric on the next episode. Thanks.